Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be installing the Midnight Motorsports Fog'r 700 system in my 535i. All right, so the reason I went with a Fog'r 700 kit is because it's simple to install and it doesn't require me to add an overdrive to the back of the high pressure fuel pump like a helix or a spool. Those systems work just fine. However, they add too much strain in the timing system, in my opinion, and just by the way that they work. And the thing is that this engine is already 12 years old. I don't think that it would be any issue. However, I don't want to risk it. Okay, so when the parts arrive, they just come, everything comes very well packaged. I just have it all laid out for you. But basically, this is our sandwich plate. The sensors are going to go right here. The injectors go on this side. You have the hob switches / pressure sensors. That's what a hob switch is. You have the injectors, the fuel rail, and random fittings. New longer bolts to install the throttle body, harness, fuel line, and fittings. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and assemble this on the workbench, and then we're going to figure out how to install it on the car. All right, so basically the sandwich plate is going to go right here. So it is going to push the throttle body further down by the thickness of this, which is about 1 inch, and that's why you get longer installed bolts for the throttle body. But under the throttle body and under the intake manifold, there's a hard fuel line that goes into the back of the high pressure fuel pump, which is somewhere down there, and it's not that fun to get to. It's not terrible, but you know, if I can avoid it, great. I don't have to remove all this because I have this here. That's the fuel line coming from the tank, and I'm wondering, heck, why not just tap into this here? Because then here we go. Here's my T. I'll have a end here. Just put this here. And then the fuel line can go directly to the sandwich plate here. So I'm going to try to do it this way. If I can't do it this way, then I'll go ahead and go through the process of installing it there. For example, that's where N54s have their tap their fuel for this kit. So, but I'm going to try to do it from this side. All right, so all of this goes together pretty easily. First thing I'm going to do is just move the harnesses out of the way because we don't have to deal with, especially this one. This is power and ground. We don't have to deal with this until much later. I'll just lay that on the car. And, all right, so fuel line we will get to later. That can also go off to the side. Now, they do provide you with Teflon tape. So we can go ahead, and this is gasoline rated, so, and E85, so we are good to go with this one. You do have, there's something here that I don't like, and it's the fact that you have some NPT, some AN fittings, which is great, but this one here is a regular, I forgot what type this is. It's not MTP, it might be MTP, I don't know. Anyway, I don't like it. Like, you're already using AN fittings, like why are we using this old school style here? Like, anyway, it'll work, I just don't like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Teflon on this, and I'm gonna put Teflon on the hob switches. And this one here, which goes on the end of the fuel rail, it actually comes with an O-ring that goes on this side, so I don't have to worry about that there. And then this end goes on the fuel line, and you notice the end here, that's for an AN. So that's going to seal no problem right there. Here is the sandwich plate. Got the hob switches in there with Teflon. Got the injector sitting in place. O-rings were all lubricated with engine oil, as you saw. And we got the mounting brackets in there. Now, mind you, these are still loose because I still have to put that on there. I just wanted to catch you guys up to what's going on. And then, of course, we have the fitting that I don't like. So I made sure I went heavy with the Teflon. So it should be fine now. We'll find out. Okay, so not sure if you caught that, but I did have to remove the injectors from the plate and put the injectors on the fuel rail first, then put them on the plate. So that's the way you got to do it. Okay, now we're going to put the wiring harness to it. Notice that they are color coordinated. So these connectors are for the hob switches. Red goes on red for the 16 psi, I believe. You see? Yeah, for the 16 psi trigger. And then black is the 11 psi trigger. Now, it doesn't matter which injector they connect to on this side because they are the same size. All right, so now that that's ready to go, the next thing is we're going to go ahead and remove the charge pipe so we can pull off the throttle body, put the sandwich plate in place, and then with the new mounting bolts, we can go ahead and just sandwich it into place. Then we'll worry about tapping the fuel line. All right, so the strut bar is out, charge pipe is out, got the throttle body out of the way, and here we go. I went ahead and cleaned it up a little. Notice also the difference in size of the mounting bolts for the throttle body. We're going to change this up because I just realized now I have that one evap line that I need to connect at the bottom of the throttle body, and that's going to throw me off here. So let's go ahead and just connect the throttle body line, which is this down here. You guys barely see it, but it's all part of this evap bird nest. Where's the throttle body connector? There it is. All right. First, a line. Okay. Then the throttle body connector. All right. So there we go. Got to make sure the gasket is still in place, and yes, it is. There's two plastic guides, one here and one there, which are typically used for the factory throttle body. Why are they not? Oh, hello. Hello, why are you not? Come on. Really? Do I have space for them there? All right, learn something new. Looks like I cannot have these connectors. These connectors are too big. They're hitting the lip of the intake manifold here. So I think that these injectors now, I need to rotate them 180 degrees so they can be on the throttle body side. Ugh. Let me fix that real quick and I'll be right back. So it's going to go into the intake manifold like this. Notice that I rotated the injectors. Now they connect over here. I'm going to go ahead and put in the fuel line. I'm just going to go from the fuel rail and I'm going to try to tee it off right here on this fuel line. Now the car has been sitting for a few hours now while I've been doing all this stuff and taking breaks, of course. So it shouldn't spray out everywhere, but better safe than sorry, especially because the DME is directly under it. So I don't want to get any fuel on those connectors. So the way you disconnect this thing is that there's this plastic guard thing and you just pop it off. Okay, clip is out. And this is why you wear eye protection, because you don't know what's going to happen. All right, so what this plastic thing does is basically a collar to prevent this from loosening up. What we're going to do now is that we're going to be able to push this into this end of the hose, and it should separate. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to cover it up. There you go. Oh, oh, oh. You see that there's still fuel right in there, so I'm going to try to keep this as vertical as possible. And go. There, that'll hold it. All right. Now, this clip can go, this can get in there, and then we can put that right back in. Okay, now that our new connector is in place, we're going to go ahead and put the factory one back in on the lower end here. All right, you heard the click. We're going to go ahead and put the collar on. Oh, whoa, whoa. There we go. All right. Good thing that this is all very flexible. You see that? We're going to go ahead and put in the fuel line. So I want the straight section to be here, and then this side here is going to be on the fuel rail. And remember, no sealant on this. This is an AN fitting. I'm leaving this bottom loose so that way we can adjust it accordingly. All right, so let's try to figure out. This way, run it under. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, even better. I'm happy with that. Okay, so guys, so I'm gonna go inside the car now and I'm gonna put the ignition on. What that does is that it primes the low pressure fuel pump, which is what feeds this circuit here. And I'm gonna go ahead and check for leaks at any of the new junction points. No leaks. We are good. This is the one that I was most concerned about, and now that thing is nice and tight. Nothing coming out of there. Nothing coming out by the injectors or this connection point here. I think we're good. Okay, the charge pipe is on. Let me tell you, this was a big pain in the butt because the extra distance that the spacer pushes out the charge pipe was actually forcing it to make contact and push against the water valve, and it would not allow the charge pipe to go in place. So I ended up having to use a C-clamp and squish down the charge pipe right here. I must have squeezed it in about 3/4 of an inch, more or less. I mean, it's hard to tell now, but yeah, it is definitely making contact there. But I mean, it moves about. It's making contact, but it's not pressing against it anymore. So that finally allowed me to get the charge pipe in place. So all right, now we just have to wire up power and ground. So it's a couple days after what you've seen up until now. Unfortunately, my test drive did not go as planned. I did have a massive boost leak, and it was my fault. I thought I had the charge pipe perfectly laid out after me ovalizing it a little bit to clear the water valve. The more important thing is that it's not fully seated on the throttle body as I thought it was. So I'm going to go in there and we're going to massage it a little bit more, and let's see if I can get it to sit and seal correctly so I can do a proper pull. From above, this is fine. And here with the water valve, I actually have space there. Come on. There we go. You see some space there. But the big thing is right here. Let me show you if we can get it to focus. There you go. You see it towards the front. It's actually seated properly, whereas in the back, I have about a 3mm opening right there. So that's my problem right there. So we need to fix the angle on this charge pipe enough so that I can go ahead and make this fit perfectly. Guys, I think I found it. As I was removing the charge pipe, I started to feel underneath here, and lo and behold, one of the AC lines, the pipe is literally resting on top of it and it's preventing it from sitting properly. So that's one thing, something else that I need to worry about there. So I need to pinch that down here. I need to give it a little more clearance here with the water valve. Okay, so the charge pipe is out. Look at how much I had to flatten out on this side. Kind of see it there. There you go. So this is a part that's still touching the rubber hose. It's again, no pressure, but it's just, I don't want to have this eventually hot metal sitting against that pipe. So I could either wrap this or squeeze this in. So I may actually do both, but I want to first start by trying to make some actual clearance by squeezing in here. I went ahead and made these marks with a permanent marker. It's kind of hard to tell, but there it is. So I'm going to squeeze that in there, give me my clearance there. But this is what I found underneath. So underneath is, like I said, it was touching the AC line. So I'm going to go ahead and squish from here to about here on this side here. All right, so got me more clearance up here, and I was able to smack this down slightly, but it did all kind of ruin this side. So I think that with my clamp, I can go ahead and wrap around it just fine. Well, one way to find out though, I'll try to straighten this out a little bit more and then put it on the car. But yeah, let's see now. Just so you guys know, the reason I'm having to do all this stuff in my charge pipe is because no one's done it on an F10. And I confirmed that with Doug from Schwenk. Apparently, this is a great popular mod for E90s, the X6s and X5s, but on the F10, no one's done it until now. So I'm kind of excited about that, but it also means that I'm the one that has to do the R&D to see how to make it fit on this. So that's why I'm having to do all this stuff. And really, the problem is nothing with the fogger system itself. That works perfectly fine. It's the fact that because it pushes it out a little bit and I have this long sweep on my charge pipe, it causes a charge pipe to then hit the water valve. And as I learned today, the top of one of the AC lines on top of the AC compressor. So I'm trying to massage this to make it work. The other option is I can go ahead and get a different brand that I've already been eyeing to see, because it runs a little more parallel rather than having this wide sweep, I'm going to call it. It's basically straight and then turn. And by eliminating basically this curvature here, that should take care of most of my clearance problems. So let's see if we can make this work. If not, we'll get another one ordered. So we'll see. Okay guys, unfortunately, no luck. Although the charge pipe seems to be sitting fine, there's so much pressure on it because it's basically pressing against this dynamic drive hose here. And I have the AC line that I wasn't able to make enough clearance for here. And it's still, even though this is loose, it's still putting pressure against the heater control valve. So my plan is I'm going to cut my charge pipe right here because that's going to take care of all the pressure points that I have except this. I'll deal with that later. But I'll cut it here. I'm going to repurpose this 3-inch pipe that I have laying about, and I'm going to use a 3-inch coupler to join this section to this pipe, and then this end of the pipe can go to the existing coupler. And with one coupler on each end, what that's going to do is that it's going to give me a lot of play that I'll be able to move about here. So I think that'll be my ticket. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and get that coupler ordered. Hey guys, so it's now day 3 of this project. The car has been driving every day. This is my daily driver. I've been taking it to work. I just have not been flooring it, obviously. I've been driving it like a grandma, basically. And so I ran my idea by Grant Johnson. I'll go ahead and tag him on the comments, you guys. Go ahead and check out his channel. And he told me, hey, why don't you do that? But instead of doing that, use a 2.5-inch to continue the up pipe coming from the intercooler. Keep it at 2.5-inch until you're cut. And at the cut, go have the reducer taking it up to 3-inch. And honestly, that makes more sense than my original idea because that's actually going to give me more clearance in the section where it was making contact before. So I'm going to try that first. So let me go ahead and start cutting. Something else that I'm going to do, guys, is that this whole section of the charge pipe, I'm actually going to wrap it. I might actually wrap the hose with exhaust wrap and wrap the pipe with reflective tape. All right, guys, after 3 days, this thing is finally ready. Look at this. Here's the original, and there's my coupler, my little pipe there, then goes up to 3-inch, then it joins the original charge pipe. Original charge pipe, I went ahead and wrapped it in reflective tape there, as you can tell. And I also went ahead and put some exhaust wrap on the heater hose that makes contact with this, just because I don't want vibration to eventually burn a hole right through the hose. So that'll protect it. This was a project. 3 days doing this now. And wow. But you know what? At the end of the day, this was worth it. As far as I know, and as far as Doug, the owner of Schwenk Turbo, knows, I'm the first one with a Fogger 700 on an F10 chassis. Other chassis have not had this issue as much as me. I think on the E90s, they just have to, some of them had to relocate a tank, like, it's small stuff, but there was it was an uncharted territory because nobody again has done it in an F10. So this was pretty cool. It was a good experience for me. It was annoying, but you know what? It got done. I did some cool stuff in here. Anyway, thank you guys so much. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button and consider subscribing because, as you can tell, I have more projects for both this car and the Jetta. Thank you so much.